Hi everybody, I hope you and yours are well. This is Czapnik from the Jewish Learning Exchange in Los Angeles. Again, our hearts and prayers, we have to keep on focusing on the hostages and the injured and the soldiers, that the Almighty should help bring them all back home safely and Jews around the world should be protected. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Chukat. And in Parshat Chukat, there's a part there where the Jewish people sing a song of thanks for an unbelievable miracle that took place. The Amorites were trying to trap the Jewish people. They were in two mountains between a narrow gorge, and they were planning on killing the Jewish people by bombarding them as the Jewish people would travel between the narrow place between the two mountains. And the Almighty made a miracle and caused that the two mountains should come together and crush the soldiers that were hiding in the caves. And the Jewish people were oblivious to this entire miracle until later on they saw the blood and the bones flowing from them being crushed in the mountains, where the Almighty had miraculously protected them. And they sang a song of praise for that. But they also sang a song of praise for the miracle of the water that traveled with the Jewish people for the 40 years they were in the desert. Originally with Miriam, and afterwards with Moshe, in the merit of Miriam and the merit of Moshe later on, they had a fresh water supply with them in the desert for 40 years. And this teaches us important lessons about looking for the open miracles and appreciating the hidden miracles as well. There was a man who was traveling with his son, and out of nowhere, a car came and rammed into him, and he turned over his van. It was upside down, fell into a ditch, and they miraculously were saved with only minor cuts and bruises. And he said something important. We have to appreciate, number one, the miracle that they were saved, and the doctors agreed it was a great miracle when they saw the shape that the van was in and how they were relatively unharmed. That was a great miracle. But more than that, we have to appreciate when we go from point A to point B that things go well. There was a man who came to Rav Shach of blessed memory, the dean of his yeshiva, and said, Rabbi, I get a mazel tov. I had a baby girl, and I want to know, am I required to give a kiddush, to have a celebration on Shabbos, as is customary in celebration of the birth of a baby girl? And Rav Shach looked at him and said, imagine you've been trying to have children for 5 years and it didn't happen, and finally you had a baby girl. Would you make a kiddush then? And the man said, oh, well, of course, what an exciting thing. So because God helped, that it went easy, and Baruch Hashem, you didn't have to wait 5 years, don't you think you should show appreciation and gratitude for having the child then, happily and healthily? And this is an important lesson. And more recently, there's an actor and singer named Idan Amedi, who was an actor on the famous Israeli TV series Fada, and he's 35 years old and was badly injured in Gaza. He went to fight against the terrorists and was badly injured, and he's finally learning how to walk again. And he's showing great appreciation for the life he has after he was injured. And he says the following statement: nothing is for granted in this life. We all learned this firsthand in the past year. This land, the people on it, the feeling of security, sunrise, sunset, the excitement of a mother for her son walking a few meters at the age of 35. Nothing is for granted. Everything is worth the entire world. Ameda then added and said, half a year has passed, and watch the few videos from the hospital once every few days to remind myself that it's all a miracle. To return to playing music, to watch soccer with friends, to take my daughter to swimming lessons, to laugh, to cry, to long for those who are no longer here. Nothing is for granted in this life, even if I sometimes forget. This is a secular man, he's not a religious man. but he understands the concept of miracle. He understands not to take anything for granted. And he understands that the fact that even though he's relearning how to walk, that's also a miracle. And even learning how to cry for the lost loved ones is all part of this miracle. May we appreciate God's open miracles and appreciate his hidden miracles, and put on the glasses of looking at the world through the vision of a gracious and loving God who constantly does miracles for us. And we say it in the Modem prayer in the silent devotion, where we say and we give thanks to the miracles that happen daily. And yes, it would be great to keep a log of gratitude that what are we grateful for today for the Almighty? And that'll enhance our relationship with God and make us happier as well. All the best. Have a great Shabbos.